Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a Q&A video, which I'm so excited because I've been wanting to do one of these for a really long time on this channel, and I finally got around to it. So I went on my Instagram, which if you do not follow it, you should definitely go over there. I post way more study tips, bullet journal, etc. So I'll link that on the screen right here. And yeah, so I went on my Instagram, I posted one of these question sticker things on my story, and left it up to you guys to kind of ask me questions, and in this video I'm going to be answering these questions, so I really hope you enjoyed, and without further ado, let's get on to the video. Okay, so I've got all the questions written down on my phone here, so I guess we'll just get started answering them. So the first questions that I got asked was, what camera do you film with and what tripod do you film with? So obviously I cannot show you exactly right here because I'm using them to film this video, but I will insert a picture of my camera and I will insert footage of my tripod as I'm kind of talking about them, so if you want to check them out, go ahead. My camera is a Canon PowerShot 360 camera. It was exactly what I was looking for because I wanted a camera that was small and little, because as you've seen in like my Plan With Me videos and stuff, I'd have to do a lot of overhead shots, so if I had a super heavy camera, I'd have to have a super heavy duty tripod, I guess, to work with it, which I just didn't have, and I also didn't want to go spending $700 on a camera for a YouTube channel I didn't even have yet. So this camera was about $250, so not too bad compared to some of the other ones I was seeing, but it still does the job well and I really like it. So if you're looking for a cheaper camera that you can use that's a little bit more portable, then definitely check this one out. The tripod, I don't know the exact brand of it. I think when I filmed the footage of the tripod, you can see it because I actually bought this tripod off of somebody. So I didn't buy it from like the store, and I kind of have two tripods. So I have the one that's like the big part that you see that like kind of stands up, and the second part is the part that allows me to film overhead shots, so I can attach my camera on it. It's kind of like a bendy arm that attaches onto the tripod that allows me to film shots overhead. So that is the tripod that I use. It's kind of two tripods mixed in one. I got a good deal on the big one, which I know would be definitely more of an expensive tripod, but since I was buying it off someone, it was in really good condition and I got it for about $100. So, and then I think the smaller arm was about $50. So not terribly bad, but honestly in my first stages of making YouTube videos, I did not have the huge tripod and it still worked fine. So don't think that you need like a huge expensive tripod to make YouTube videos, because you just don't. Alright, so then now we're moving on to kind of more the stationary bullet journaling questions that I got asked. So the first questions of these is, what pens do you like to use for note taking? So I actually brought some of them over here. Some of my favorite pens for note taking. I love to use the Tombow dual brush pens for making headers and stuff. These are just a couple of the random ones that I grabbed, but some of my fall colored ones that I have in my pencil case right now. I also really like the Faber-Castell pens. These are great pens for bullet journaling and note taking. Honestly, when I'm taking notes, I really prefer to use pencils, so these are just really basic, big mechanical pencils, and I know I have like a studygram and I should have like fancier note-taking pens, but honestly, you don't need fancy pens to take notes. And then the other one I have is a Sharpie fine liner pen, super cheap, works really well. I've bought them like over again many times, and they never fail to disappoint, and it's in the size 0.5. So I really like those pens. Like I said, they're not super fancy, but you don't need super fancy pens either. Alright, so the next question is, what supplies do you use for bullet journaling? Those same pens again, I guess. I use kind of the same pens for bullet journaling as I use for note taking. The Tombow dual brush pens, the Faber-Castell pen, and the Sharpie fine liner pen is my main go-tos. The other supplies that I use is, of course, my notebook, bullet journal. This is a Moleskine journal. Yeah, I mean, obviously you need a notebook. Other than that, those are the only really essentials that I would say. The other things that sometimes I add is stickers, pictures, washi tape, rarely, I guess. Really, I don't go too fancy with my bullet journal. I just use my notebook and some pens, and that is about it. The next question is, what trackers do you use in your bullet journal? So the trackers that I use personally for me is I have two things for YouTube and Instagram. For YouTube, I have a thing where I plan out all my videos at the beginning of the month. So all the videos I'm going to do. So like this video was planned like a month ago that I was going to do a Q&A at the end of November. So I plan all those things, and then I kind of keep a checkbox of like when I film it, I can cross it off. When I edit it, I can cross it off. And when I upload it, I can cross off another box. So I have 3 little checkboxes for each. So that's kind of a tracker for YouTube. And then I have an Instagram/YouTube tracker with like when I meet important milestones on those 2 social media platforms and stuff. Then I also have a habit tracker where I just track habits like making my bed, eating clean, working out, etc. I guess. And then I have a gratitude log. I don't know if that's really considered a tracker. I guess tracking my gratitude. And that's, oh, I also keep a reading log kind of, so when I finish a book, I just write a little bit about it. That's mostly it for trackers that I keep in my bullet journal, but of course that's a great thing about bullet journaling. You can customize it and add new things, and yeah, honestly, it's great. So that's why I love the bullet journaling system, because I have different trackers every month, because sometimes I'll have one for a month and I find that I don't need it, and then sometimes I decide that I want to add something new. So that's why I love this system. The other question that I got about bullet journaling was, where do I find quotes for my bullet journal? I find quotes for my bullet journal from Pinterest, Safari. Honestly, I don't go too fancy with the quotes. Sometimes I find them from other studygrams and recreate some of their quotes if I feel like it. But half the time I'll just Google like, or put on Pinterest like quotes about this, like whatever I want quotes for. Really, it's not too complicated, but that's how I do it. The next question is, what is your favorite notebooks? So like I mentioned earlier, I'm currently using the Moleskine journal. It's in the color teal and it's blank pages. I'm not sure if you can see, but it is blank pages. At my store where I was getting my bullet journal, they didn't have any of the dot grid, and I really needed to get my bullet journal started because I was out of pages in my other one. So I really wasn't going to waste time ordering one online, considering the new month was about to start. I was kind of behind that month. I did miss having the dot grid, which is why for my next bullet journal that I'm going to be starting in January, because this one is almost to the end, is the Leuchtturm. I never know how to say that word. I probably mess it up every time. But this is in purple. It's a little bit bigger than the Moleskine journal. As you can kind of see, it's the same height. This one's just a little bit wider. And this one is the dot grid, and it has page numbers on the bottom. I hope you can see. So that is my favorite notebook. It's probably the Leuchtturm. I've used them before. So I'd say those are my favorite notebooks, because the Moleskines kind of ghost a little bit, so that's kind of annoying. But the Leuchtturms don't as much. So if you're picking from one, the Leuchtturm's a little more expensive, but the Moleskine does have some downsides to it, but really it's everyone's personal preference. Okay, so the next set of questions are about something that a lot of people I know have questions about. Even my friends in real life have a lot of questions about it. And that is the fact that I'm online schooled. So one of the first questions that I feel like I should clear up first, it says, have you been in real school and not online school? So actually, yes, I was in real school my basically whole life. I'm in grade 11 now, for those of you who don't know. And for up to grade 9, I was in regular school. Like, I went to school like everyone else. Like, I wasn't like some sheltered child or anything. Like, and then in grade 10, I did the first semester, and I just realized I was really done with the way my school was. My school was not the best. It didn't have the best teachers at the time. It was kind of forcing me to like teach a bunch of kids stuff, like basically tutoring them, but like for free, which I didn't have time to do. I was already in so many classes myself, so they're basically getting me to teach kids in my class everything because the teachers didn't want to teach, is basically how I kind of felt about it. And I was just getting really tired of it. I felt like they didn't have enough classes available for me, and I wanted to be in charge of my own education. So I actually signed up for online school. It's actually in print, but it's like online, I guess. So I do have teachers, which another question is actually, how does it work? So I guess I'm kind of explaining 2 in 1. So I do have teachers. They have an office building in cities around me, I guess, and they all go to work. They all teach certain classes every day, just like normal teachers do. It's just instead of going to classes, they take calls and emails. So basically they send me module books and assignments that go along with them, so I read what the module book tells me to do. I have textbooks that correspond with them, and basically I read all of that and I answer the assignment questions when it tells me I have an assignment due. I have markers that mark it, and if I don't understand a concept or if I don't understand an assignment question, I just call my teacher and they help me out. So it's not as abstract as you think. Like, my parents don't teach me, which is, I get a lot, like even in my hometown from people I know. Like, people have come to me and said, oh, I heard you're in online school now. I'm like, yeah, and they're like, oh, I mean, I wish I could do that, but my parents aren't home enough to teach me. I'm like, yeah, that's not how I do it. Like, I do it with teachers, I do it with real assignments. Like, I don't talk about it a lot on my social media platforms because a lot of people have told me that it's like, well, it's not like real school, like it's easier, which it's technically not because you're your own teacher. So that's a whole nother reason why I'm dedicating my bullet journal to only school, because it's a lot being online school. You have to make all your own schedules for yourself, so it takes a lot more room in my bullet journal, which is why I'm using the planner for personal things. So basically, being in online school is definitely harder, and then this year I kind of made a change. I kind of started some of my classes in the summertime because I finished early. That's another benefit to being online school. You can finish whenever you do. And I wanted to start early, and I just found the physics course and the math course was too hard online. Like, I was still getting good grades, but I knew that I could get better grades at school because they go a lot slower at school. They have constant 24/7 help, which I felt like I didn't need 24/7 help obviously with these classes, but I felt like having a teacher there and other kids to interact with as well, to ask questions to, was helpful for physics and math, because grade 11 math and grade 11 physics is pretty hard. And then all my other classes, chemistry, biology, religion, French, English, and social studies, I take online. So the majority of my classes I do take online. It's just the two that I do not. And so I do still consider myself an online student because I only go in for like 2 classes a day for 1 semester. So yeah, I am in online school. A lot of people don't really know that from social media, but now you do, I guess. Okay, so now moving on from those types of questions, I have just a couple random questions. What is your favorite book? My favorite book is a series. It's the Selection series. If you know me at all, you know it's my favorite book series. I made a whole video on 50 book suggestions, and I love all the 50 books I talked about, so if you're looking for book suggestions, check out that video. I'll link it in the description box below. What universities are you looking at? So for those of you who don't know, I'm Canadian, so I'm looking at Canadian universities. Some of my top ones that I want to go to are UBC, U of T, University of British Columbia, University of Toronto, McGill University. Those are the top 3, I would say. But I'm still only in grade 11, so I haven't applied to anything yet, or I don't know where I'm going. Oh, this is another one about online school, but I kind of answered it. Why did you choose online school over regular school? And that was just because I felt like I could get a better education through online school, and I really liked being able to plan things out myself because I'm a huge planner person. As you can probably tell, I have like 2 planners. What's your favorite subject? My favorite subject is probably, it really depends. Sometimes I get really annoyed with the subject and I don't like it. Like right now I hate math, but sometimes I love it. Probably right now at the moment is probably biology because I'm learning something really interesting. But that also changes because probably in like a week I'll be annoyed at biology. What's your worst experience with a teacher? I don't know. I feel like I've had multiple bad experiences with teachers, to be honest. I had one teacher in the 9th grade who never taught us anything, and we had it for English and social studies, and she never taught us anything and literally just talked about like her husband and her like life problems with us, like we were her therapists. And she was pretty young. She was like 22 or 23, and we didn't learn anything in English or social 9, but that's probably the worst experience I've had with the teacher. How do I stay motivated and dedicated? So I stay motivated and dedicated because I make sure I know my goals, and I just know I'll have a bad feeling if I don't reach those goals. Not because I made a mistake or something, that's okay, but I would know I'd be upset if I didn't make those goals just because I was lazy and didn't feel like doing anything. So that's what kind of motivates me, is because I want to make sure I accomplish my goals and I don't want to have any regrets. So you really have to find what works for you. I can't give you the magic tool to help you be motivated, but what you can do is make sure you know your goals so you know what you're working towards, and that's definitely the first step in being motivated and dedicated. Have you taken the ACT or SAT, or do you plan to? No. Once again, I'm Canadian and that's not really a thing here. I mean, you can take it, but it's only if you want to go to university in the States, which I don't. So I'm not planning on taking it. I don't really see the point of putting myself through the extra stress, because we do the diploma exams here, which is still a really hard exam that I have to take for every single one of my classes. So I don't know why I'd add extra tests onto that, because I already have to take like 6 of those diplomas. So thank you guys so much for watching. I apologize if that video was super long. I just wanted to answer all the questions that were asked in good amount of detail. So if you guys enjoyed this video, please be sure to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up, because I post new videos on every Tuesdays and Fridays. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye!